Lisa from Sweet Mandarin, and today we're cooking hot and sour soup from my new cookbook, A Chinese Street Food Odyssey. So let's cook. Who here likes hot and sour soup? Now, did you know that my regular customer John, he loves our hot and sour soup. He said that when he first tasted it, he knew that this is a good testament to what a Chinese restaurant is, a benchmark. So I'm going to teach you my recipe on a hot and sour soup. So let's firstly warm up our stock. Now, you need a really good chicken stock firstly to do this, about 600 ml. And if you want to learn how to do and make chicken stock the Chinese way, please buy the book from Amazon and I'll teach you those fantastic tips. Let's warm up our stock first. Now, in a hot and sour soup, you need the spicy notes and the sour notes. And the spicy notes really come from our chili bean paste, and the sour notes come from the white vinegar. If you don't like white vinegar, you can use a different type of vinegar, but white vinegar has a nice natural taste to it. We're firstly going to add in our ingredients. So our ingredients today, we have bamboo shoots that are cut into strips, carrots that are peeled and cut into strips as well. Let's add that into our stock. We then move on to some lovely shiitake mushrooms. Now, I love shiitake mushrooms. They're basically dried mushrooms that have been reconstituted in water and then cut into thin strips, a bit like this. And all you need is about 50 grams of that to put into your soup. The next ingredient I'm going to put in is tofu. Now, tofu is made out of soybeans and basically come in white blocks, and then you cut them into thin strips, like this again. So as you can see, the style is you want all the actual ingredients to be the same type of shape. We're going to add in some prawns as well. So these are about 100 to 200 in size. You can go a bit bigger, you can add in king prawns if you want to feel a bit more luxurious. But let's just add those in as well. And another last ingredient we're going to add in is some white fish fillets. I've just basically got some cod fillets here that are cut into nice chunky cubes. If you don't like fish, you can add in some chicken, some pork. It's entirely up to you. So let's add that into our soup. So the hot and sour soup now, this is where the elements really come in to make the hot and sour soup. Now in China, a lot of street vendors will just sell one particular item. For example, the hot and sour soup street vendor, the chicken satay street vendor, and that's all they specialise in making these fantastic dishes on their store. As the water starts bubbling, as your soup starts bubbling, what you need to do next is start adding in those flavours. So I talked about the chili bean paste. If you've never seen it before, all it looks like is a paste just like that. And it's made out of fresh chilies, ginger, garlic, soybean that's been fermented for many, many months to give it a really punch to your dish. So all you need is a good dollop of that in. Depending how spicy you like your soup, you can add a little bit more or a little bit less. The next thing we're going to add in is our salt and sugar. Now in Chinese cooking, we always have to balance the flavours. So salt is very important and sugar. And you balance it out because of the yin-yang elements. So you just want a good pinch of sugar and also a pinch of salt, just to give it a good seasoning. The last thing we're going to add in, once it starts bubbling, is the potato starch. Now Chinese cooking uses a lot of potato starch, and what that does, it thickens soups, it thickens sauces, it gives it a nice sheen. But there is actually science behind using potato starch. If you put too much in, that's where Chinese food becomes gloopy. If you put a little bit in, it just gives it a nice bind to the actual dish. Now the science as well is that you must put it in when the soup or your sauce starts bubbling. Why? Because as soon as the potato starch hits that bubbling water or that soup, it will start binding straight away. So as you can see, my soup is now bubbling away, hot and sour soup, and we're just going to add in our potato starch. What you find is with the potato starch is that when you add water in, the actual potato starch will just sink to the bottom. It will be like sinking sand. So get a little soup, get a little spoon, mix it around, and you'll have a nice little slurry like that. All you want to add in is about 3 teaspoons of the actual potato starch first, and immediately mix it. If you don't mix it, what will happen is the potato starch will go right to the bottom. The bottom bit will become thick, but the top bit will still be very, very watery. Now don't forget, we're going to add a little bit of beaten egg in that. Now I don't know if you've seen in a lot of restaurants where you see a little bit of egg swirls. That's what I'm going to teach you today, how to actually add that in. At this point it's bubbling lovely. We're now just going to turn the heat off. The reason is when we add our egg in, we don't want scrambled egg. So let's add in our beaten egg. We want to add in and swirl in bit at a time. When you've done that, this will automatically thicken your soup as well. So I'm going to have a lovely swirling effect there. As you can see. And then the last thing we're going to add is actually a little bit of sesame oil. Now sesame oil we always add in Chinese cooking right at the end. Why? Because we just want that little aroma. We don't want to overcook the dish with sesame. So as you can see, my soup is coming to the end now. It's actually all binding together. The fish is cooked, the tofu is nice and firm, the vegetables are all cooked through. And now we're ready to serve that. Okay. So let's just serve it in our bowl. And this makes a great lunch or an early supper for your friends and family. So try this recipe at home. Hot and sour soup from a Chinese street food odyssey. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm Lisa from Sweet Mandarin. Join my YouTube channel for more cooking recipes and cook-alongs from the book. Thank you.